How much do you need to spend to get around Taiwan? Well, in order to answer that question, I've brought along Allan and his 1994 Yamaha Force. At least that's what the badge says. It's a rather ironic name for a scooter that makes less power than either of our prime ministers. We're gonna put this scooter to the test by seeing if it can make it up one of those.
The mountains here in Taiwan can get as high as almost 4,000 meters and are not really for beginner riders at all. They're no joke. They're chock full of twisting and winding roads, and sometimes no roads at all.
Oh, the eggs aren't gonna like this. So, the plan is we're gonna stop by the nearby town of Prozzie, which is situated in the mountains. We're gonna pick up a few supplies there, like food and of course beer. Now, in order to make it up that mountain, Allan's scooter is gonna need quite a lot of life left in it because of the altitude. The air gets quite thin up in the mountains. Taiwan's mountains are massive, and carbureted bikes like his one have a hell of a time making it up because, of course, they end up choking out. There's just not enough oxygen for the bike to run. Now, I've brought my 2016 Yamaha S-Max, which has been somewhat reliable since I've bought it. I bought it from the shops, knowing that if I did buy it from the shops, you know, like it's a proper scooter, I don't have to worry about trusting some dodgy secondhand buyer. I suppose it is also worth mentioning that we haven't actually picked a place to go camping. We're just going to try and see what looks good, and then we'll go camping there. It's also already 4:30, so my scooter is telling me, and that means we're going to be quickly running out of light. Right now in Taiwan, the sun goes down at around 5:30 because it is the dead of winter. So we haven't even stopped in Prozzie yet, and it's going to be a bad dash up into the mountains. Hopefully we can get a fire started before the light dies on us. So Allan and I have just arrived here in Prozzie, and we're realizing that it's a little bit too late now. It's kind of getting too dark. I mean, you probably can't tell from the camera, but the sun is going down back there.
Yep.
And we don't want to be up in the mountains when there's no light.
No, we need to set up our perfect camping station in the light.
Exactly.
All this equipment that we've got.
You'll see in a bit, it's not a lot. So we're going to get a hotel tonight here in Prozzie, and then we'll do camping tomorrow.
Sounds like a plan.
All
It's
right.
a good thing about Chinese New Year. Do what the hell you like.
Yeah, and that's like, well, the only problem we've run into is that it's ridiculously difficult to find a cheap hotel this time of year because it's so busy. Allan's booked us this romantic Japanese style hotel.
Freezer.
Yeah, it's quite cold outside. Not bad, all this for the price of 2,400. Got a little hot spring. View of the mountains. Stumbled across this restaurant. All you can eat barbecue. How much did they say it was?
550
550
549.
for all this.
All the meat you can eat. I think this is just getting started. I think there's more to come.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So far, I'd say camping is a resounding
Yeah,
success.
this camping thing is a wonderful thing in Taiwan, right?
Well, this is fantastic. Right, we've got our supplies. Just exiting the grand town of Prozzie now. Allan's trusted me with protecting all of the gear we bought, including his eggs, because he wants to make a popular Taiwanese dish tomorrow morning called Dan Ping. You can check that video out. And that's really the only way I can explain the mountains here in Taiwan, as it is like a fairy tale. It transports you into like a whole different area, different atmosphere, away from the smoggy cities, right? The air is clean and crisp. I really like the atmosphere. The feeling of being up in the mountains is really nice. It's got a certain mystique to it. Anyways, just to give you some backstory on his scooter, he bought that thing 10 years ago, like I said, for $4 grand, which is probably in part why, you know, it explains in part why a thing like tops out at what, 65 kilometers an hour or something.
Allan and I rode for a while on some, well, what I guess you could call roads before finally falling on our camping site.
Sorry, eggs. Right. Done it. How's the water in January?
Pretty nippy, but it's nice. It's not like ice cold. It's just, I'd say about 15 degrees.
It's so clear as well, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
There's the waterfall. Can't actually see it from our campground, but it's nice. Look who's down there. Oh, is it?
It was time now to go collect some firewood. Which was going fairly well for Allan, at least. I clearly hadn't quite figured out his technique.
Your scooter already looks ridiculous with that paint job, but now that we're using it as a tractor trailer, it looks even funnier. See? Scooters, they're brilliant.
Amazing things.
That's why you don't need to buy a car in Taiwan.
Yeah.
This is a literal definition of speaking too soon, as there are some fairly obvious consequences to trying to take half a forest down a steep hill.
Fuck me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I was looking up there for that.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's the...
You alright?
Yeah, truly okay, yeah. Bang the nail up, that'd be fine.
Got firewood behind us here that Allan collected. Thanks, Allan.
No problem.
Got the tent set up. Allan's done that. Thanks, Allan.
Yeah.
And we finally got our fire going for food later.
You got some of the leaves for the fire.
Yeah, thanks, Allan.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Well, we did it.
We did indeed,
We made it.
successfully.
And just goes to show you really don't need to spend that much money on a scooter that'll get you around the island. I feel like a fool for spending so much money on my bike.
Mine was £100.
Cheers. Mine was more.
Yeah.
To be honest, the trip wasn't really that treacherous. The only parts that really didn't have like roads were kind of near here.
Yeah, I would say about half a mile of off-road. We had a bit of a scrape.
Oh, I've only crashed once.
Yeah.
Which is impressive because compared to the first time I went camping back in China with sea milk, the only thing we packed was beer. And we both fell off the mountain because of the beer.
As a result of the beer, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I think we've proved that traveling in Taiwan is relatively easy if you've got a scooter. If you come as a tourist, it's very difficult to get around, like to places like this.
Yes.
The HSR, the MRTs in Taipei, the bus systems are great for getting from city to city or major attraction to major attraction. But if you want to get out and explore the wilderness, it's pretty difficult. Some people that come here as tourists that have never been to Taiwan, but maybe never driven a scooter before, that in itself is an adventure.
That's a very daunting task for you the first time.
What we just did as people who live here is quite relatively tame.
Mm-hmm.
But if that was my sister coming here doing that, she would be
My sister, yeah.
off her.
There's no way. I'd
yeah.
never put my sister on a scooter.
But yeah, I'm happy that the scooter did it and relatively unscathed.
Yeah. We could finally relax.
Cheers.
Cheers, beers.
Anyways, guys, that's where I'm gonna have to end today's video. Sorry it was a bit abrupt. It's just that it got dark and there was no more light, so Allan and I just ended up enjoying the fire and being out in the nice, clean, crisp air in the mountains, which I think everyone should do from time to time in Taiwan, because, you know, the cities with all the pollution stuff can get a little bit compressed, and it just feels like it's nice to get out and escape it a little bit. Anyways, it's time now to read the top comment from last week's video. And last week's top comment comes from Li Yulin. And this one is kind of a longer one in Chinese, and my Chinese isn't that great, so if I butcher it, please forgive me, or make fun of me in the comments. Either way, it doesn't matter. And they say, 台湾人不会因为外国人想参与祭祀活动觉得被冒犯。如果想参与角但不知道怎么做，可以问问周围的人，大家通常会乐意说明。我是在台北工作的台中人，看到一片离台中的风景好想念。And what they're basically saying is that if a foreigner wants to go try out the temples, like see what it's all about, because we don't know, we didn't grow up with that religion or that culture, so we don't really know what we're supposed to be doing in those temples. They say feel more than welcome to come and try it, and you can ask a local and they'd be more than happy to explain how it works and what you're supposed to do, which is cool. And that just speaks to how friendly and open Taiwanese people are and how excited they are to share their culture. And I think that's great. If you guys want to see a video of maybe me and Allan will go and check out a temple and show you guys what it's all about. I'm pretty green on the topic. I really have no idea what to do. I don't know any of the gods that they pray to. Again, I did live in China for 4 years, and they had a few smaller temples, but not nearly on the scale that Taiwan has. It's a much bigger deal here in Taiwan. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, please click the subscribe button so you don't miss any videos of my life here in Taiwan. Shit. I don't know, I'm using it.
Copyright strike.
Stay positive, keep your stick on the ice, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Sometimes city life can get a little bit compressed, you know, especially with all the pollution and the coronavirus going around killing everybody. Let's rephrase that. All right.